Are you enjoying this series on cult heroes from football history? Of course you are. Next up is perhaps the finest talent of all time, Diego Maradona, the World Cup winning genius who propelled Argentina and Napoli to glory with plenty of twists and turns in between. So what is El Diego's story?
42 secondi, guardate Maradona.
Esulta il campione del mondo al rallentatore.
Maradona was born in 1960 in Buenos Aires, Argentina. But he wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth, far from it. He hailed from Villa Fiorito, a super humble working class neighbourhood in the south of the city. Maradona's love affair with the beautiful game began at a remarkably young age. Imagine a 3-year-old Diego clutching his first football, a cherished gift that would soon become his closest companion. It didn't take long for this young prodigy to become utterly devoted to the sport he would one day conquer. By the time Diego turned 8, his raw talent was already undeniable. While playing for his local club Red Star, he caught the eye of a talent scout who recognised something extraordinary in this young boy. Maradona said he looked up to the likes of Manchester United superstar George Best and other Brazilian heroes too. When you see the skill and charisma with which Maradona played, you can see that he looked up to players like Best. He would tease defenders just as Best did. On the 20th of October 1976, at just 15 years of age, young, skillful Diego Maradona made his professional debut for Argentinos Juniors, and then, just 2 weeks after his 16th birthday, he found the back of the net for his new professional side, the first of many goals and magic moments to come. Maradona stayed at Argentinos from 1976 to 1981. During this spell, he scored a jaw-dropping 115 goals in 167 appearances, but fate held bigger plans for this prodigious talent. A $4 million transfer to Boca Juniors beckoned, and there Maradona's stock would begin to rise even further. River Plate had also vied for Maradona's signature, but financial constraints saw their bid fall through, and so Maradona's journey continued in blue and yellow and not red and white. In his first Super Clasico against River Plate at La Bombonera, Boca won 3-0 and Maradona was on the scoresheet. El Diego continued to make a name for himself in Buenos Aires, and then in 1982 the big move to Europe came. Maradona embarked on his journey to Barcelona. His transfer fee, a staggering £5 million or $7.6 million at the time, set a world record. The Camp Nou became Maradona's theatre, where he orchestrated the grandest of shows, just like one Lionel Messi would go on to replicate a few decades later. During his time at Barca, Maradona triumphed in the Copa del Rey and the Spanish Super Cup, but he didn't yet reach his full potential. However, one particular moment stands out as a testament to his genius. On the 26th of June 1983, in one of the world's most storied football rivalries, El Clasico, Barcelona defeated Real Madrid away from home in the Santiago Bernabeu, with Maradona scoring and earning a rare round of applause from the Real Madrid home fans. Yep, as with many stories of genius, there were tumultuous chapters. Maradona's tenure at Barcelona concluded amidst a notorious brawl against Athletic Club Bilbao. Witnessed by millions and etched into football folklore, the game was like something from a kung fu movie as opposed to a football pitch. Spanish television viewers and even the king himself watched on in horror as 60 people were injured and Maradona headed for the Barcelona exit door. Naples, Italy was the next stop on Maradona's extraordinary journey. On the 5th of July 1984, he was unveiled as a Napoli player. The Stadio San Paolo erupted with 75,000 fans who had just come to greet their new hero. Sports writer David Goldblatt noted, "They were convinced that the saviour had arrived." Maradona's impact on Napoli was nothing short of miraculous. He elevated them to their most successful era by far. In 1986-87, Napoli clinched their first ever Serie A Italian championship, with Maradona leading the charge and putting the club on the European map. It was in Naples that Maradona's genius truly blossomed. He became a beloved star among the club's fans, delivering 2 league titles, a Coppa Italia and a UEFA Cup. The entire city embraced him, recognising that they had witnessed true greatness, and that he could probably have had an easier ride elsewhere, but instead chose to lift up the city of Napoli. Amidst the glory on the field, Maradona grappled with personal demons throughout his career off it, and not least towards the end of his career in Italy. His cocaine use continued and was widely publicised, resulting in fines of $70,000 upwards from his club for missed games. Personal scandals also plagued him, including suspicions of an association with the Camorra crime syndicate in Naples. After serving a 15-month ban for failing a drug test for cocaine, Maradona left Napoli in disgrace in 1992. Despite interest from prestigious clubs like Real Madrid and Marseille, he chose to join Sevilla, where he stayed for just 1 year. In '93, he briefly played for Newell's Old Boys before making a return to Boca Juniors in 1995. Maradona had passed his best by this point, but was still the biggest name in football at the time, drawing crowds from far and wide and entertaining them with his mischievous charm and dazzling talent. You might argue that Maradona's true potential was only unlocked during his time in Naples, at club level anyway, but on the grandest stage of them all, the World Cup, he cemented his legendary status in the light blue and white stripes of his adored Argentina. During his time with Argentina, Maradona scored 34 goals in 91 national team appearances. He made his full international debut at the tender age of 16, facing Hungary on the 27th of February 1977. However, it was in 1986 that he etched his name into the annals of history. In the 1986 World Cup in Mexico, Maradona captained the Argentine national team to victory, culminating in a triumphant final victory against West Germany in Mexico City. Throughout the tournament, Maradona was nothing short of a dynamo. He played every minute, scoring 5 goals and creating 5 assists. 3 of those assists came in the opening match against South Korea, and his first goal in the tournament came against Italy in the second group game. Argentina's quarter-final win against England became legendary for 2 very different goals: the infamous hand of God and the mesmerising goal of the century. The Falklands War added an extra layer of drama to that match. The Islas Malvinas to Argentines were a sacred part of their country, and the war with England had been taken personally in Maradona's part of the world. Indeed, it had affected a lot of Argentine lives. For this reason, Maradona's quarter-final brace against England meant so much more than usual. The hand of God goal, where he used his hand to score, left English players fuming, whilst the goal of the century showcased his mesmerising dribbling skills and had even the likes of Gary Lineker gawking in awe. Maradona had received the ball in his own half, swivelled around, and with 11 touches ran more than half the length of the field, dribbling past 5 English outfield players, including Peter Beardsley and Terry Butcher, before he left goalkeeper Peter Shilton on his backside with a feint and slotted the ball into the back of the net. This goal was later voted Goal of the Century by FIFA, and journalist Roger Bennett described Diego's tournament as the most virtuoso performance a World Cup has ever witnessed. In 2000, FIFA honoured Maradona as the Player of the Century. He stands alongside legends like Pelé and Lionel Messi, earning a place as one of the greatest footballers of all time. In Argentina, he's a hero and a cult figure, revered not only for his World Cup triumph, but also for his unforgettable goals against England. In Naples, he changed the course of history. Maradona's career as a manager may not have soared to the same heights, but his legacy as a player and cultural icon in Argentina ensures that he is worshipped and remembered like no other. Even today, Messi struggles to match his level of popularity in their homeland. Diego Armando Maradona was more than a footballer. He was a living legend, a maestro on the field, and a symbol of hope for the underprivileged off it. His story reminds us that greatness can emerge from the most unlikely places. The short and stocky build of Diego, the big curly hair, it's all the famous outline of one of football's greats, a legend that will live on forever. So where does El Diego rank for you amongst the all-time greats? Let us know in the comments below.